Tucked away in the middle of bustling Miracle Mile is a jewelry school that has produced skilled craftsmen and women for 23 years. Joining us today is the owner of the Miami Jewelry School and master jeweler, Mark Thurn. Thank you so much, Mark, for being here.
For having us.
So how long, the school has been on Miracle Mile for 23 years right now?
23 years, was opened in 1987.
Incredible. And you were saying that it's right above Starbucks.
Yes,
that area
second
there.
floor.
And you know, you go by that area, so many people do on a daily basis, and you would have never thought that just above you there's this jewelry school. How was it founded?
It was founded by a French gentleman. He used to work for Carol's Jewelers, and he had the idea of opening a school there with a partner, and they opened the school. It's has been doing really well, but it's just a little hidden away.
So how did you come across it then?
I found a little small ad in one of our trade magazines, and it said jewelry school for sale, South Florida, with the telephone number. I called, and he answered the phone, and that's how we got connected.
So now that you own it, tell me about the things that are taught there. Why does a student go there?
We train people to become jewelers. We're not a hobby, or we're more like on a professional level, and we are we have people that want to go into that business. That's very amazing. They call us, they see us on the internet, and they're looking for that particular type of business to get into.
Is it lucrative still at this point?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because you have people that now going out of business, and we do have to get new people that replace them. And you don't really have to open a really big jewelry store. You can do it as a side business. You can do it, go still work for someone, but most of our people, I'd say 95%, are they want to open their own shop.
So tell me about the programs that are offered there. You've got different levels.
We do have different levels. Not everyone wants to continue with all three of them. We have a basic jewelry program that teaches them about the metals, how to make wires, how to make sheet metals, and then we form them, we solder them, we cut them, and I teach them about the tools actually that they need to bend and shape rings into shape. The second one would be a casting program that when you spend 8 hours making a ring and you want to speed it up a little bit, that's what jewelers do. They make molds and they shoot the wax, and it goes through that whole program. Actually casting, and everything is done in-house. We don't job anything out. The second one would be, once you learned how to do the casting, we teach you how to put gemstones in your jewelry.
Wow. Very
intense, but not all of my students want to actually go into that, so they can choose what their comfort zone is.
So when, you know, just from hearing what you're saying, this is all hand done. This is not a machine that's doing it.
Exactly.
It's something that you're teaching. It's a skill that you're teaching for hands-on people that want to do this hands-on. Yeah.
Just basically, we teach them how to roll out a sheet of metal, how to make their own wires for chains. It's all hand done.
How time-consuming is that? It seems like it would take forever.
Well, when you start out for the first time, yes, it takes a little bit, and then you have different machinery that we use, like a rolling mill. But it's once you know exactly what you're doing, you can whip out a sheet in no time. Usually what I do is I tell the student these are the measurements that we need, and they prepare their own metals. Wow. So we don't call anyone up for sheet or wires, anything like that. Everything is melted down. So if they cut something off, they melt it back down, they make their own sheet, and then they create the jewelry.
So talking about the jewelry, you brought a really beautiful selection here of things that you find. This is all done by students.
These are all done by students.
Okay. And honestly, it's very detailed work. I mean, I'm surprised to learn that this is not done by a machine. I mean,
no, they're all hand
incredible.
done. with little wires. Some of it gets a little crazy, but it doesn't take much to go through and file and shape. And
so you're saying, okay, so this is done by someone, and the finished product would be something like this.
Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah, this
with
is
all the
our
stones.
basic model that
Okay.
every student that finishes the course is able to make one of those
And
from
then
scratch.
What would be this level here would be the third level, because
That
you're
the third
placing
one, they're actually taking their own ring and setting stones into it after I teach them how to do that.
Okay. And so, like, for example, I was telling you also, Mark, that something like this would you know, I mean, I just can't imagine that this is done by hand, because it's so perfectly crafted.
What happens is you start out with the basic shapes, just a normal ring. And what they do here is they basically drill the holes with a drill that we use, file all the little prongs out. So you're actually taken away. It's like a sculptor would do.
Do you notice that that obviously there's more quality? You get more quality when it's handmade. Do you notice that this is something that's not practiced as often as it should be now, or is there a new era where it's all mechanical? Yeah,
the decline in the handcraft is certainly something that we worry about. Even in the entire industry, there's too many things that are imported. We can still go back to making things by hand, especially if you have a smaller shop. You can customize it, especially for whoever walks into your shop and say, look, I can make this for you. I don't have to order it. I don't have to spend a huge amount of time on it, but you can certainly make things like that.
And the necklaces as well, those links are done by hand. They are turned, everything.
Exactly. You make your own wires to form the links to make your chains. And then you make the little clasp to go with it.
Incredible. Well, you can have one of a kind piece.
You certainly can. You know, you just shape them off a little different. You have small ones, you can have bigger ones, or even tiny ones like that.
So what's the most popular of the classes that you've got?
Starting with the basic, because people need to know the basic first. And in that we also cover the metals. What is gold? Where does it come from? How do we actually mix it? Because most of them, they're not pure. We do add something into it to make them stronger, wear and tear resistant, or whatever the means is that you need to get your jewelry made. But
And tell me about the classes and the people that join. They're all interested in doing this as a living. What's the age group? Do you notice there's a certain nationality or just mindset that they have at that point?
The interesting part is, nice to be in Coral Gables, is that we have people from all over the planet.
Really?
We had a gentleman from Kazakhstan. We had him from Israel. Then the Latin American countries, Brazil. So it's really nice to have these people here and just be very diverse. You know, you can talk to them about how their jewelry manufacturing is in their own country and then compare it to what we do here. So it's really nice.
And you were saying that you started when you were 16 training.
I started when I was 16.
But the people that you're seeing lately at your school, is it, you know, young generation, or is it another one that maybe had another career and now they're changing careers?
Actually, all of them, all of the above. We had a 15-year-old. He wants to go and work for someone. Hopefully his dad is setting him up with a job in New York. We have right now 2 older gentlemen that have, one of them has retired from his job, and he's just looking for something to do. He's going to open a job in, I think it's the other coast. So he wants to just have his little shop and serve people, and it's great.
Now, there is a benefit to taking classes at this school, because when you're done, it's not like, you know, you're done and that's it. You do get some sort of certificate or license.
Yes, we're licensed. We're a real school, we always say. We're licensed by the state of Florida. So to have that license gives the student really something that they can look forward to their diplomas. So we're not just a little craft shop somewhere. We have the credentials to go with it.
And do some of the jewelry stores out there, you know, do they take that even? Do they look for that type of certification?
They do. They want to make sure that you come from somewhere that at least your training was enough to fulfill the position that you're asking for. So.
And when are the classes offered? Do you have a set schedule? How does that work?
We don't. I mean, yes, we do, but the student really sets their own schedule. We have open enrollment. They will kind of see what their schedule's like. I don't want them to be tied up. Yeah, and we have night classes too, which is really good for people who have a day job and want to do something at night.
Right. So tell us a little bit about the jewelry school, where it's located, if someone wants more information and wants to get into this field. We know that it's on Miracle Mile, but tell us exactly where it is. If
you know where the Starbucks is, you know where we are. We're on the second floor. It's the 220 Miracle Mile, Suite 229. There's a little sign on the bottom there, and you can find us. Or get information on the web, MiamiJewelrySchool.com.
MiamiJewelrySchool.com. And give your phone number just in case.
305-444-2246.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mark. It was a pleasure having you. Thanks. Much continued success, and hopefully you'll get more business out of this, and people will now look up when they're at the Starbucks and look up at the second floor and know that you're there.
Well, thanks for having us. Thanks.
And still to come on Coral Gables Now, the city is home to a new group that promotes all things Russian. An all-star girls soccer team keeps racking up the trophies. More on their big win on City News. And a Coral Gables bakery makes some of the best cupcakes in the nation. We'll be right back.